Street Fighter 6. Street Fighter 6. Say it. Street Fighter 6. Street Fighter 6. Ah! Ah! Yeah, that one too. Select and make your first pick. We pick Susie. No, you're not. Come on. Come on. But you weren't just a second ago.
Don't tell me what I am.
But you're not.
Oh, you're saying I'm muted too.
Oh no, you're muted. Oh, Woolie's muted also. Oh no, we're all muted. This is the part. This is my. You know what my favorite part of the podcast is? Favorite part of the podcast is where I load up the podcast on another monitor while listening to you guys, also to see if I can hear you guys while I hear you guys. That's my favorite part. I really enjoy it. It's a very fun time to do.
All right. It appears actually the problem is chat is muted.
Oh, and, chat's stupid.
Yeah. You guys don't know what you're doing. Good job.
Yeah, chat.
Anyways, hello. Hi. What's up?
Hey, Woolie, I want to say something right when we start. First of all, thanks for coming on the show, Susie. Very much appreciated.
Welcome.
That's Susie, the Spear Hunter.
Yeah. I had a really good time playing a lot of Street Fighter before it came out. So, I think I bugged both of you. I was like, I want to be on this podcast. I want to talk about it. It's really cool.
Yeah. I mean, like, there's been much of street fighting, and there's been much of you around the street fighting. I saw some shenanigans going down with Alex and so on stream. So we'll talk about it. There's much to talk about.
And the second thing that I want to say is, like, I kind of resent today's podcast because I was playing Street Fighter 6 up until 12:54 p.m. and then Woolie's like, hey, and called me on Discord, and the Discord noise made my match screw up, and I'm like, damn it, stupid podcast. I don't want to talk about Street Fighter 6. I just want to play more Street Fighter 6.
And that's the best possible compliment one can make to that game. There you go.
Exactly.
Right? Stop playing it to come talk about it for a second. Yeah.
It's like for our mental health, like to stop playing it.
Yeah, man. No. It's been very fun, obviously. Like, this has been a very positive launch. It's been nice to see a lot of people warming the fuck up and going like, oh my god, I kind of get what these idiots have been talking about for a long time now. And yeah, man, it's like there's always that little thing where you're like, okay, in these opening hours, how do I want to spend my time, and you have to really go like, okay, how much do I want to like go figure stuff out? How much do I want to just like mash my face against whatever's going on in the battle hub? How much do I want to like actually jump online and look at what other people are figuring out? And like, you got to just like put a fucking plan. You have to get a planner out for how you want to run your day. It doesn't help that I continue to have a million other things going on, and I'm very busy regardless of this launch window. But nonetheless, when I'm doing one thing, I'm like, fuck, I want to be over there doing this other thing, and like the old community from my locals are all like in a chat room popping up, and everyone's showing tack off, and and that thread is impossible to keep up with, and it's flying a million miles a minute, and like anytime you jump in, you're like, oh my god, that's sick. So you're just drawn in like 15 different directions at once with these things.
Did you know that Honda invalidates JP's fucking zoning game? Fucking headbutt just goes through all of his fucking projectiles. I found that out 5 minutes ago.
Sure. Yeah, there's a couple ways of dealing with that. Lily can just fucking just spire right through most zoning, so that's nice.
Did you guys know that JP does not have a chin under that beard?
Oh god.
It's horrifying. Oh. I can show you a picture if you want.
He has the bearded curse that many of us have, including me. Just put more hair on. It'll even out your fucking head.
When you say doesn't have a chin, do you mean like has like an underwhelming lack of chin, or do you mean like literally?
I just sent you a picture.
Oh, that is. Oh man. No. Oh, that's ugly. I'm putting this up on the Twitter.com.
Ew. Oh, yeah,
where'd you get this? This is disgusting.
I'll send you the
Okay.
tweet that I found.
Oh my
So-
fucking god!
It's Zangief versus JP, but they're missing their facial hair, and it's kind of horrifying. The
Oh, I
modders
hate
need to
that.
stop. We've gone too far.
Oh, I don't care for this.
Okay. What a different energy. That now that just turns into like Lord of the Rings villain, you know,
Yeah.
just like our evil Harry
Yeah.
Potter villain.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Hey, Wooly, before we get too far away from it, there's gonna be a lot to talk about today. It's gonna be hard to keep these threads. But you said that like you gotta have like a spreadsheet or like a planner to like actually figure out what you want to do with this game.
Mhm.
It's funny because you mention it about like the launch. Usually for anything on the internet, that plan would be made for you. And the plan would be, I guess I'll play the goddamn single player for the first it comes out on Thursday. I'll play the single player until this coming Tuesday while they figure out and get the fucking matches working and fix the problems that the Battle Hub has. And yeah, people are rampantly disconnecting and there's server problems, blah blah blah. And I'll just do the single player and unlock the costumes, all that goes. No, fuck that. That online beta fucking worked. I have had zero problems. I have not talked to anyone who has had any problems at all. Just matches,
Yep.
matches.
And the fastest
Even-
possible rematch ever. The
Oh
fastest
my God.
start. Like, it's insane how quickly you just fight, like in, you know?
Even in like the fighting ground menu, when you like click on like casual or ranked, like you just sit there for 1 second and then you get a match, and then the match plays out, and then you go back and then you get another match. It's like, it's insanity.
Yeah,
Like
I think
so many people are playing this game right now.
I think the biggest like the longest lag you feel is that moment when you're at a cabinet and it goes from training mode over to the match and you can't press buttons for a second.
Yeah.
Like that little second is like, okay, what's happening? I can't. Oh, someone's jumping in, and then you kind of that's the longest you have to wait. And then once the match starts, you just hit rematch the whole time and just keep going. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the day when we don't have to point out how awesome it is that these things just work, and we can just talk about the other things. You know, the things that should have been always there are just like no longer taken for granted or no longer ignored, and you can just move on to like the content and not like actually making sure that it fucking works, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this is the beginning of that. never know.
Maybe. I mean, people are saying things and questions are being asked and so on. I mean, you know, I don't know how many qualifiers I can put up, but like this might be it, man.
This
Might be
easily-
it.
I feel
Like,
extremely confident saying this is the best fighting game product to ever have come out.
it's like the only thing that I'm gonna hold to back on that is time. Let's
Yeah.
just see what happens with time. But the
Yeah.
trajectory is 1,000,000% on track to being the best. Easily on track to being the best.
Like right before the podcast started, I mentioned, I have one complaint. And then in the 90 seconds it took for us to talk about something else, I had to struggle to remember what that complaint was because it was so minor. And like the only complaint I have so far for the entire game is the maximum club size is too small. It's 100 people. That's hilarious. There's one of me, there's one of Wooly, there's one of the podcast, and there's like 900 other people that are making variations because they can't be in one big club at a time.
I know that clubs got added to 5 later on, and they allowed access to like the training stage that Dan had and such. In this case, that's a really small number, but I'm imagining as we go into the future, that number will stop being small as the player numbers dwindle, right? Like there's a certain point you hit where like it becomes like, oh, most clubs are not going to be filled up, but anything associated with like a podcast or a channel or something in this launch window, you want to be able to up that quite a bit. It's also like the minorest thing I was saying about it is just like I wish that the ability to like jump online and group up and like do ranked matches as a group, train as a group, do a bunch of bullshit as a group was like a staple feature so that you can kind of have something to emphasize for people to come back and have like a Friday night thing to do, queue up with the friends and play together.
Yeah.
That's something that would help protect against the 2-month drop off. But either way, like, this is the honeymoon phase. We have to just be real about that. And like, we're gonna need to see how things shape up once the dust settles a little bit. But the trajectory is so clear. The path is clear for Street Fighter 6 to rule.
I feel like we are absolutely in the honeymoon phase, but I feel like an objective and fair way to compare that is against the honeymoon phase of its direct contemporaries. Like, the honeymoon phase of, say, 5 had like caveats with it. It had like 5's honeymoon phase was like, yeah, when the matches are good, it's good, but when it's bad, it's the actual fucking worst thing I've ever played in my goddamn life.
The honeymoon phase of Tekken was Akuma wins forever, and I guess that's the end of that.
And that's awesome.
And the honeymoon phase of Strive was like, this is the coolest, greatest, fucking sickest shit with Arxis is done. And your story mode is just an anime, and this is how we're going to separate things. And you're either down for that or not. But I prefer a story mode that involves playing as a part of the world. And
yeah, I was not down with that.
I kind of find it's like it's interesting because if you like, it's the most cinematic way to tell your story, but as a video game, it's not, I'm not going to call it a cop out, but I prefer that they come up with a solution that it lets you actually play the fucking thing, back in Exerd when they first started doing that, I did it in a couple bite-sized chunks initially, and then obviously when I did the lore videos, I went back through. But like, I was struggling with the 4-hour length of getting through that initially, and like, when you break that up with having a place to play or a chapter to play as Cassie Cage or something, then you go, okay, well, that chapter's done. I've done this segment. I can, call it here for now or so, as opposed to just like it keeps going,
My honeymoon with Strive was a lot simpler. It was, these matches are great. I'm having a great time. It would be nice if I could play one match more than every 8 minutes. It would be really nice if I could play more than 10 matches in 1 hour.
Am I misremembering? But did that game take 10 full minutes to just start?
It did. It absolutely did.
The fucking R code bug, the launch. So, there was a solution to this in the form of a mod that you could install called Totsugeki, which would boot up faster. And then you could install Totsugeki Unga Bunga mode for even faster booting up. But yes, that initializing screen would connect to servers in Japan and verify something and send back a ping. And they would do that, I want to say 324 times. So that, and it was, and that inflated and basically led to, that full 5 minute or whatever it was logging on bar. That was just insane. That was no good. And then, again, while the game was fucking amazing while it was happening, the tower system it's not a real ranked situation. I get why they went for it, because it's
a cool
friendly.
It's a cool
that is friendly to newcomers, but it stops working once you hit intermediate and above level skill.
Yeah, every single person in the world starts to crowd onto floor 10, and then you might as well have no ranking system at all.
And then the things where you hit Celestial are like, okay, everyone above, which is like where the gradients really, really matter and you feel them a ton, are just lumped into this one thing where it's like, you qualify for heaven for the month, and you never know whether you're going to fight, like, again, an Evo top 8 contender or just the best basement king in your neighborhood. But it didn't really distribute skill at all once you hit that point, and that was a bummer. So That being said, the game was fucking awesome while it was going. So yeah, I get what you're saying there, Pat, because it's like, in this case, you don't have to make any of those disclaimers, right?
I have zero disclaimers of any kind. I like fighting games have always had like what I guess like an MMO problem, which is like, man, I love this shit. It's so great. Here's the reasons why it might be a massive mistake for you to buy this. And then you have to explain like, well, the fucking online, or it's actually super hard to get good, or
Do I have to put my hand up and go, before you buy?
yeah, no, for real. And this, it's like one of the things that, like, if I don't mention it now, why would we even bring it up? But it's really important. This has cross-play across 5 platforms. Like, the community for this game, because it is Street Fighter and it is cross-play across everything, and there's no reason to think it won't be cross-play across its next version when it gets ported to Street Fighter, when it's ported to PS6 or whatever, right? This shit will have players forever. There will always be matches to be had, and the net play is so good. I don't know how often we have to talk about it. I have had 2 bad matches, and they were with Wi-Fi 1 bars in Asia.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi indicator. Man.
No, but like the worst conceivable situation where I'm dealing with 400 ms ping. Yeah, that is bad. Like 99.9% of my matches have been A+ in the room level of good against anybody across the Xbox or the PS4 or the Steams or whatever.
It's quite phenomenal that people who, for example, like usually end up with the Xbox version of something that is massively more popular on PC and PS4, in this case, can still participate and have as healthy of an online experience as anyone else does, you know? That nature of like being like, well, you made the wrong decision at the beginning of the generation, fuck you. You know, and you're just gonna be shit out of luck for the rest of this. Try again next time, asshole. Like, also, that's not here, you know.
The indicators of signal strength or Ethernet speed are hilarious, because 1 bar connections, bright red connections in Street Fighter 6 are better than every other fighting game's 4 or 5 bars. Like, so, if I see like the Red Bar Go Home podcast that we had a year ago or 2, like is like nonsense now in the context of this game. Like, I can play people with 200, 300 ms, no problem. It's that good.
I've had bad matches, but like, it feels as if what is bad for this game is a higher level of overall match integrity by comparison to like the match has completely shut down and now we're just teleporting, you know?
Yeah, I haven't had that yet at all. Like, I've only had like a few hitches in like low signal games, and like the worst it's ever gotten for me was the match just disconnects, which means okay, then the video game just gives me a new match right away, you know, type of thing. So
thing is, though, is that, make no mistake, like, it's still there's still these little hit moments and hitches and things where it's like, god damn it, that dropped, that sucked, you know, like the instability, like it's not, I'm definitely not going to co-sign that it's like we have solved the internet problem forever, because whatever's happening from the user end is always going to influence, you know, how solid your quality of a match is going to be. But at the very least, the server is doing as much of the heavy lifting as possible, and the game's fucking code is doing as much of the heavy lifting as possible, so that like it's not compounding bad factors on top of each other, you know?
I think the way that we could say it and feel good about our phrasing is like, I think the game end of this problem is as solved as it's going to get. Right? Like, if you're in a shack with your cables actively being hit by lightning, yeah, no software in the world is going to fix that. But in like 95% or higher case of like normal setups, this thing is putting the work in to make that problem go away.
and it's even got the quality of life to let you do things to offset the input lag if you're feeling it. Like if you're someone who actually like, if, a lot of people don't notice and don't care if they have a little bit of if you put like your rollback delay up by 1 or 2 or more, but
Yeah, I don't feel that. I'm trash. Sorry.
okay, but like the so it's funny because against characters like charge characters like Boxer back in the day and stuff, it's like that shit is affected more because you have to like react to things, but anyway, the ability to put like input delay reduction on as a little like extra quality of life that the game has is like, oh, we can put this on, it might be a little bit extra taxing on your system, so be warned, but we can bring that lag down even more. And
what does it actually do?
I don't know, but it's some fucking wizardry going on.
Do you feel it?
It absolutely makes it better. And the thing is crazy is that like it's like and it's like they're looking at the all the lag tests are basically just like, okay, PS5 is currently like the most responsive. I think it was at like 1.5 or something like that. It's crazy. But like PC is doing like really, really solid. You can put this setting on to improve that, and it's some optimization, whatever the fuck it is. It's Blitz, netcode, whatever you want to call it, is going on.
Is it the placebo?
I don't think it is, but the thing is that depending on everyone's PC setup as well, another thing is turning VSync off, right? You're gonna have obviously fucking the problems that happen when VSync is not on. You're gonna see your fucking screen tearing pop up. But if you're okay with dealing with that, you get even more responsive like match play. You know what I mean? Everything is like a really, really solid with that. So like the ability to kind of go in and tweak and get that that responsive time up and everything is like a nice little, they didn't have to do it, but here you can, I'm somebody who,
That's like the whole game, honestly. We didn't have to do this, but here
you did it. Yeah. I can, screen tearing is not going to end my world, I can deal with VSync being off, so.
Well, I mean, VSync being off works really well. Like I have monitors that all support G-Sync. So VSync off is how I prefer it because it kicks on the G-Sync instead with lower latency. So it's like, and also the game defaults to borderless windowed. In fact, I think it's only in borderless windowed on PC.
No full screen.
Which means your desktop is going to take care of most of that VSync shit anyway.
So Susie, you've been out there doing it officially. You got the meta level 5 going on right now.
I do, yeah.
That is pretty sick. How is, like, I was saying to you in Discord before, it was just like, there is not going to be a single character that ever gets released into fiction that has that hairstyle that will not get cosplayed. 100% of them are getting covered by you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
and I have the Menno cosplay like in the works right now, like the whole thing, but yeah, I'm really debating like doing color 10, which by the way I don't have in the game, and like I don't know how to get it. Pat.
Go back in fucking time and instead of getting a review code, pre-order it.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
I guess we'll have to wait 2 years for that to.
Color 10 is extra
release.
weird because I assume they would just put it up for sale later, but like only like 8 characters even have a color 10, which makes it even weirder.
Not everyone has one, and then I guess some are just not out yet.
Maybe they'll sell it later when all of them have one.
There were some obtuse rewards though, like there was a register your Capcom ID with 5 to your account beforehand. I think it's still open till July, where you'll get a bunch of extra titles for online as well. And
you'll get Super Turbo for the little arcade.
And so on, yeah. So there's these little promotional things that they're going to do with your Capcom ID.
You get Super Turbo?
Yeah.
If you register... Oh, interesting. I might
I don't know how to find it, but it's like you have to go through the Capcom Japan Capcom ID website. But
Gotcha.
Super Turbo starts to rotate in on the little arcade games. Which, by the way, I see people playing that shit in the fucking hub. I see people buying Street Fighter 6 so they can walk over and play emulated versions of like World Warrior. And, like,
I know people like that. That like Lord Jimmy Bones is this type of dude that would fucking buy 6 to sit out and play ST, like 1,000,000%. I think you have to get. I think it was called the Run Back, the Run Back promotion for Street Fighter. And then like you go sign up with your account and get the extra
Gotcha.
stuff. Yeah.
I'll look into it. Yeah, I
Re-
definitely was a little disappointed when I went over to the game center in the Battle Hub, and I was like, oh, Street Fighter 2. Like I saw it in the distance, and I ran over to it, and it was just World Warrior, and I was like, oh, I want to play Super Turbo. Come on, like
So
we'll play that.
I'm very like I'm itching to get my character dressed up and stuff, but like I'm gonna be doing world tour, so I can't jump in just yet, you know. But someone who's gone through this, you blew my fucking mind, telling me that you got how many hours out of that thing?
So when I finished the main quest of it, because there were still like tons of side quests to do, it was like 55
That
hours.
is wild. That is
Because
crazy. Holy
people
shit.
don't. I mean, I think people have discovered like the exploits now.
Yes.
But now that the game's out, but you know, when the game wasn't out, I was like slowly doing everything like with the main characters, like learning their fighting styles and like giving them gifts like really slowly, but also like finding the perfect gift for them where now you could just buy like 100 of one gift and
Yeah, give
it
the
all
wooden
to
bear to Zangief,
one
and
of
he'll
them.
be your buddy and kiss you on the mouth. Like, just do it.
I
Give
don't
him the
remember
bear.
that, but yeah. Okay.
I must
Take
have
your word
imagined.
for it.
Marissa wishes, but it ain't happening. God, Marissa.
That story mode is so funny.
Oh my
Like,
God, Zangief's story mode.
have they ever said that she's like gay or something? Like ever?
In
There's-
Alpha 3, his dislikes was beautiful women.
Yes, so there's two things. There's that the dislikes beautiful women, and then there was in CVS 2, his intro with Eagle had them both doing the lariats at each other, and like I think Eagle is also another gay
He's
character.
a
in
Freddie
Street Fighter.
Mercury, basically.
Right. So like I think that was possibly a hint at something, but
Gotcha.
hard to say.
Well, the
Did you know
bear
that,
wrestling.
Did you guys know that Eagle has a pet shop in Raccoon City? Did
Let's
you know
go. Are you serious?
that? Yeah, he's on the sign and everything.
Is that in 3?
It's
in
in
three?
both threes. Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's-
Jeez, I
but in
didn't know
3
that.
remake, you see him on the sign.
Oh,
they
yeah,
drew
okay.
him
Oh, now
as
I
like a
remember.
neon sign, which is really cute.
Like, I
Amazing.
But
remember.
yeah,
So-
like that story mode is hilarious because he's just
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, I like fighting, and then he doesn't read the fine print of
Yeah.
like marriage as well.
So
I had
and the
this-
fine print, the sign too. It says like looking for a partner, and then he's like, yes, a partner. I will go and fight and show my power. You know, and then like it's like, oh yeah, only serious about marriage. Trial by combat to prove your strength, and then it also has like a circle around. Everyone is welcome. So
Yeah.
Marissa's like, hey,
Oh, okay.
everyone's welcome, baby.
I had this weird moment
Oh.
where the screenshot of like Marissa being like, Zangief, I love you, let's get married, came out
Yeah.
right before I saw the ending. And I'm like, on Pride Month? Really? You're gonna just ungay Zangief after all this time? And then I watched the whole ending, and he's clueless and can't get away from her
He
fast enough.
hightails it
Like,
the
ah,
fuck
there
out
it
of
is.
Literally running.
Ooh, I forgot I
running
had a
away.
match.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, he's back.
And he
Yeah.
gets the and she's like, ooh, he's running away. Maybe we'll meet again someday. And she's so thirsty. She's so fucking. It's the best. I had no idea that was gonna be part of it. I thought she was gonna be like, yes, ancestors, gladiators, jewelry, you know, and just kind of like the helmet and picking you up. But like the fact that she is just insanely after it with no shame is amazing. I love that.
That world tour like concept is so it really shows off from what I've gone through just how stupid Street Fighter actually is and just how dumb most of these characters are. There's an early game storyline about like fabricating your own fake Gucci bag that has
Yeah.
the absolute dumbest steps and like mental jumps possible, including Oh, we don't know how to get this clasp. Here's a plane ticket. Fly to Italy. Go to the Coliseum where they're reenacting like active lion battles for some fucking reason, and just go get like a single like clasp for my bag. Just do it.
The lions only come out for celebrations. They're not always there, you know.
Payoff to that quest is also just
Oh,
the
it's
dumbest
so
shit
good.
of all time. I know, like
So
I love it.
overall, right, I think it has been very transparent from the middle of, I want to say like season 3 of Street Fighter V, when whenever the transition between producers took place and
Yeah.
hands were handed off, there was a group of people.
Oh, I
that
thought you were
sat-
gonna say hands were washed of it.
Hands were also washed. Yes,
Yeah.
they were dipped in holy water and cleansed. And
Maybe
then
someone lost a hand as well as a payment or a recompense.
I mean, whatever it took, right? There was a changing of the guard, and there was a not so subtle decision to take Final Fight and agree that it would never come back again. So we
Yeah.
are just going to fuse it into the world of Street Fighter. And
There's a lot of stuff in that game that is never going to come back again, but is in that game now.
so when they dropped,
Yeah.
so Cody, you'd be like, oh, fuck, that's cool, right? Cody's back. He's always been a favorite, but now he's the mayor of Metro City. That's a great, like, change of the time and, like, you know, things have evolved. That's great. And then they're like, oh, yeah, and then there's Abigail, the alt Hugo color guy. Obviously Poison's a huge hit, but then we're going to go get Lucia? And they just start doing all these things. We're like, oh my god, we're doing fucking Final Fight 3 references now. What?
I was
Fight
so excited.
will now live on.
That sparked my interest in SF5 again because I'm such a huge Final Fight fan. But like
Right.
when Lucia came out, I was like, what? And she's also from like Brooklyn, New York,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
says
yeah.
coffee and loves
Come
noodles. That's
on.
me. That's literally me.
Get on the ground, sucker. Yeah, exactly. Like, you're under arrest. You wise guys. So then now you prime the fucking canvas, because when 6 drops, you're like, yeah, it is just Final Fight Streetwise 2, actually. Shut up. It's more Final Fight than you ever wanted.
Susie would be able to confirm this better because she's beaten it, but I've gone maybe 20% in, and I'm like, yeah, no, it's the Final Fight Streetwise too. It is absolutely a sequel to that.
It was. I said it in my review, but you know, I kept going back and forth because I was like, it feels like Shenmue, but like the side quests are so stupid, like Yakuza.
Yeah.
And then when I finally got to the side-scrolling train part,
Yeah.
where it's literally Final Fight,
Mhm.
and like Poison and Roxy cosplayers are there because
Mhm,
those people
mhm.
are celebrities in this world now. I was like, this is like a new Final Fight game. It is literally Final Fight with RPG elements.
Yeah, no,
And
shout
it
outs
made me
to
so happy.
shout outs to meeting Chu-Li on the streets.
Oh yeah,
my
it has like it's you know, fighting games are stupid, right? And they're dumb as hell, and the universe they ask you to believe they inhabit is bananas. And now you get to run around in it and just see just how stupid it actually would be. That they're like, Chu-Li is a great example. I lost my shit seeing that loser character.
So good.
Like she's like 150 feet away from actual Chun-Li.
Chun-Li.
Yeah, yeah.
Standing outside of Chinatown, just like, come fight me.
Did
It's
you guys
great.
meet Kenny yet?
Oh,
I have
no,
not.
no. I didn't.
He's a very thick Ken. I'll just say that much.
Nice. Yeah.
And it's just like you're wandering around and like so first of all, there's the Hagar Memorial Stadium, which threw everyone for a loop in my chat. We're like, wait, did Hagar fucking die? And then the game confirms, no, he retired.
Okay.
He's not dead. But like next to it, there's like a fighting game there's a fighting tournament coming up, and like Luke and Cammy and Ryu are on like posters outside the fucking arena because, like you said, they're celebrities.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
of course they are. But that's so goddamn weird.
And this is still
I think
like
it's really cool.
this is still Earth, but like Metro City
Sure.
in particular is Battle World, where there's just and like that. I've joked about this many times in the past of just like what happens if Fight World though, and this is really Fight World where it's like, yeah, beat up that store owner for a discount maybe, and everyone's cool with it. Everyone's like, yeah, upload that. That's gonna be great. Like they're super down with like chasing.
Woolie, it's not
strength.
just Metro City. It's the whole planet.
It's the entire fucking planet.
Yeah, everybody knows how to fight.
Okay. Wonderful. I did see some clips of like, yeah, you go to like Nashal at some point and like just you're running
And
through
it's
slums.
even bigger too. It's
Yeah.
larger than Metro City somehow.
Everybody's gonna throw down. Yeah.
I don't know if you guys ever felt this way, but like I always liked Third Strike's aesthetic where it was like, you know, like gritty, like street, like rap
Yeah.
music and all this kind of stuff. And like, yeah, I know. But like, I always kind of like hated like the SF4 and 5 like Cartoon Network, like every song has like bongo drums in it. It's silly, goofball, stupid world. So like playing SF6 is like main content. I was like, oh yeah, we're in the streets again. This is great.
Yeah.
There's so much rap music and like
Yes.
neon lighting and everybody just looks cool and they act cool. And then I played World Tour mode and I was like, oh, this is where stupid Street Fighter is. And this is where it should stay, honestly. Like stay in Final Fight. Like come on. Like
I definitely didn't mind the like video gamey, you know, soundtrack because it definitely is a reminder of like the legacy soundtrack, the legacy Street Fighter
Yeah.
themes and stuff. But I like Third Strike was a watershed moment that was like, oh, this is the feeling of this brand, and these two should never be separated again. And then when they were, it was like, okay, but we get a little bit, right? We get a Cody theme, turn the beat back, okay?
Yeah.
You know, we get a little bit, and every time you do, you're like, oh, but that's what we want. We just give us more of that, you know?
Yeah.
And every time they did promotional material, it would go straight to hip hop. I think
But then
like,
it wouldn't mean in the game.
yeah, and that's it, you know, with the exception of like Indestructible, which was, you know, but like that was just that was like the weird read on it. So like
Sure
now,
is a song.
yeah, but now you're like, okay, so the new people that are fans of Street Fighter are like, yes, let's get hip hop everywhere throughout this thing.
If you
So-
go
Yeah.
to the new producer of this game, like his Instagram, it is all rap music, only rap music. I'm not even kidding you. Just like here's a
I
song that I
believe it.
like.
I
Like-
believe it. Yeah.
You know when it hit me? Because it's weird, because I played a bunch of it, and obviously the hip hop is all over everywhere. But when it hit me is when they're like, hey, go get on a plane and go to Italy, and they drop they give you a world map. And the world map has the best song in the entire fucking game in it. And
Yeah.
it's a menu you only have to be on for 5 seconds at a time. Ever.
Mm.
And you sit there for minutes because it's the best song in the
Damn.
game.
I saw footage of it on one of the Capcom JP streams, but I don't recall what it was yet. Nice. Okay.
Fucking incredible.
Yeah, man. And yeah,
World
and
Tour
like
is great.
the
It's great.
homage to the old plane flying around the planet, you know.
Yeah.
That's a fun callback as well. So yeah, Susan, I guess have you gotten to like do the custom character battle nonsense? Like, have you gone in
Oh yeah.
on that a bunch?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had a 6, maybe 7 win streak because my character is like level 69 and I have 3 life bars. So I was just like mopping the floor with everyone with my stupid moveset of Mano that can do cannon strikes, but then also pile drivers from hell.
Jesus
so like
Christ. Can
Yeah,
you
I
eat-
played some of those and they're super broken. Like the your level is a massive factor in your
Amazing.
character.
Can you eat food like you can like in World Tour in the middle of the
I
match?
don't think so.
Okay,
No.
okay, you can't do that. Yeah, perfect. Man, yeah, I'm like, what is the current nonsense meta with that? You know, is it teleport to SPD? Is it you know? Is it fucking throw out a Blanca-Chan doll and activate while doing a fucking Lily Windspire? You know, I don't know. I hope there's a whole community though that is currently figuring that out and we don't have to participate. You just let the freaks go nuts on this mode, and then show the wild shit on their replays or on Twitter. You know.
So,
Yeah.
Susie, you can confirm or deny this. Maybe it's just me, right? But like,
Yeah.
I feel like the avatar battles and the way your character feels in World Tour really puts a spotlight on how much work goes into exactly the aesthetics and how a character feels and how their animations link up to their rig are just A+ for the entire cast. Because picking any created character and putting Chun-Li's moveset on and doing her like medium punch is like, oh, every character but Chun-Li looks deformed when they do that medium
Yeah.
punch. Like, your custom character can be a broken nightmare, but they also kind of feel like dog shit compared to the real characters.
I saw
Yeah.
Blanca Chan costume doing Dalsim's moveset, and it was horrifying. It was absolutely nightmare fuel, just stretching out and, you know,
I
like,
actually haven't done Dalsim's like quest line yet because I don't want to see my character stretch. I'm just so like terrified at the idea of that. Like I don't want to see myself like have stretchy arms. Like,
this better not awaken anything in me.
oh my God.
I
But no, it is actually really impressive how well the Frankenstein movesets like animate with each other. Like it's really cool just, being Ryu and then jumping forward and doing a cannon strike. Like it works. Like it actually looks good, you know? And they have restrictions in place too, so you can't just be a full character.
Oh,
So
really?
like if you yeah, and like cuz when I was first playing it, like my strongest character is Cammy, so I was like I'm just going to make Cammy, and
Yeah.
like mop the floor with this game. And then it was like, well, you can have Quick Spin Knuckle and Hooligan at the same time. And I was like, why not? Why can't I do that?
Oh,
That
I
doesn't
think
make
I know
sense.
the
restrict
reason.
you.
I think the reason is because World Tour assumes you use modern, and if the modern mode would use the same input, then you can't use
Yeah.
the two moves. So like if the modern mode would be like forward and special for both of the moves, they go like, well, no, you can't do that because then modern mode
That is
control
true,
scheme won't know
yeah.
what the fuck to do.
Yeah. But you can be fully Ryu if you want. I guess
Mhm.
they figured that one out because
Hmm.
he's the guy.
Is it, yeah, I was gonna say that. Like, does it come down to the slots? Is it just a matter of having, enough move slots to throw them all on, or is it just like even if you
No.
have only two, it doesn't matter?
Now certain moves just will not coexist with one of them.
Coexist. Okay, interesting. Huh?
If you
well,
play in Classic, you can have like a crazy move list though of just specials, like because you have to do like the whole input, But
okay, but modern.
I found that on Modern. It's pretty
I see.
limiting.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's funny though, like on that point too, because like I guess the whole mixing and matching. When it comes to this game, I've never felt the desire to Shang Tsung more in a fighting game than I have in this. I feel as if like I want to go around and learn more characters than usual. I'm a character loyalist. I often pick one and play them to death. I often love my character more than the game itself in many cases. But here, there's so many interesting things that I kind of want to just mix it up and, yeah, well, Shang Tsung it, as we say.
I feel really strongly, very similarly. I played 90 minutes of Honda matches on stream earlier this week. I don't like E Honda. I have never ever liked playing as E Honda. I had so much goddamn fun playing as new Honda. He's so fucking cool now.
I didn't.
That's the thing. Like I feel like they went crazy with modern controls to get people in the door, but I feel like it had like an alternate effect of like, well, let's put so much work into making every character feel good with this control scheme that like every character just feels good, even in Classic. So it's just like, yeah, I'm the exact same way as you guys, where I'm just like, I would like to play as Zangief now. I would like to play as Blanca. Like, I've never played as them before. Like, I didn't ever want to play as them, but I want to play as them now,
Yeah, I really like. I never thought about like using Lily at all based on the promo stuff. I was like, okay, yeah, there's a cool T-Hawk, second coming. And then messing around, I was like, oh my God, she's so much fun to use. Like I was like, I'm like, holy shit, I want to fuck around with this. Yeah. And that's a really good sign too, which is like, every character is like a fucking sinkhole you can dive into as usual, but the ability to just kind of like have a ton of fun across most of them is a really, really good sign, because in a lot of cases, if you're somebody that's like, oh, I can't play this style of like BlazBlue character, or this type setups, puppets, things that are just like, I'm never gonna ever go for one of those. Like, I feel like this is a really they've done enough here that they've made it interesting right across the board, even in play styles that I'm usually not down with.
100%. Yeah, everybody feels good.
Have a little pocket, everybody.
I can't believe they made a good fighting game again. What happened?
Like, we're talking about the excitement that comes from playing DJ. Like,
oh yeah,
what
dude,
world do we live in where people are like, "Yo, DJ is so hype"? Like, what?
I got like trapped in a 50 game set with DJ on the day the game came out stream, because DJ's so fucking cool. Like, you want to talk about me not liking Honda? I really don't like classic DJ. I don't like anything about his character. He's fucking so cool. He's like an SNK character. He's like Rock Howard being placed into Street Fighter.
His corner juggling combos are like they just
Insanity.
swag, like,
yeah,
does all this cool shit on you, and like, man, like, talk about the glow up,
I didn't think the fakes were going to be that scary, and then I played 50 matches against DJ, and he grabbed me off the fake kick every single time for 50 matches in a row. Like, you see it's the fact that it actually activates the flash on the kick and the ping sound effect, but nothing happens. I'm like, oh man, your brain just goes block. Oh, I'm thrown.
I think DJ is the biggest glow up from all Street Fighter characters that have returned into the new era, including the ones returning from 5, like old to new Birdie, old to new Karen, etc. I think DJ is the biggest glow up of any Street Fighter character ever.
Yeah, just in like every regard too. Like, even his design is like, I feel like just so much cooler than his original. So like, when I saw his classic, I was like, who's that guy?
Have you have you messed with his level 2?
Yeah, so you get the 3 different variants of it, and it's like, what's the difference between them? And because the move list didn't actually specify, but now we kind of know. The light version of the level 2 is the easiest to combo into, where you just like hit the next button and it does the least amount of damage. The medium version requires medium timing for the strictness of inputting each button, and then the heavy version, the strictest timing for the most damage. But if you fuck up, you get super low damage right across the board. Yeah, so it's a super that'll do like 1700 if you fuck it up, but if you land it properly with each one, it's like, I think 26, 28, and 3000 respectively.
And the other thing is, like, it is Neo Deadly Rave from like Rock or Geese. Like, it's an SNK super that is just hiding inside DJ.
Yep. Stop it midway through to do a combo as well if you feel like it, yeah, man. And then, like, again, the fakes are blowing everybody up, and it's like you're seeing him do it, and it's like, even if you're getting dunked on by it, you're like, oh, but look at him go, After all this time, it's nice that fucking DJ, the forgotten new challenger, is like he's doing his best,
I literally got perfected this morning by a DJ, but the whole time I was just laughing because it looked cool. I was like, this is so cool with everything he's doing right now. Like,
it makes me very, very excited for everything DLC that we know, right? Like, what's that gonna look like? How's that gonna be?
I want to play I've played at least a couple times with everybody on the cast, and I'm like, this is the best version of this character that has ever existed, barring stupid shit like CVS2 Blanca. right? Like let's like that. Okay, that's not even a
roll canceling. Yeah,
that's
sure.
a fake character. Let's not even talk about that, right? But like I play through these and I'm like, God, I want to play Street Fighter 6's version of Akuma so bad. Like, oh man, I want to play that version of Akuma. One button Shun Goku? What's that look like?
I was gonna say, do you think they're gonna do one button?
Yes,
Raging
of
Demon?
course,
absolutely, 100%.
There's a one button SPD. There's a one button 720. Why wouldn't there be a one button demon? You know,
that is true.
And like the good Akumas learned how to do a Kara demon anyway, which is just it's almost like a single input that because it just buffers the buttons together. That's a whole other thing. Yeah, all of that is absolutely coming. New Ed, what's that going to be? New Rashid, you know. I'm really like it's exciting to see like what this kit is going to look like based on how they used to play in the past, you know.
It's also like we're in that nice early period where stupid shit is getting discovered. So like earlier, like, oh yeah, you can just dash through JP's projectiles. Like, okay, that's weird. Like, no wonder I was getting blown up if the game was like, no, the way to get past these projectiles is just walk through them, idiot. But, oh no, oh, it's gone. Oh, no, wait, it's back. But like earlier today, I saw a thread on the Street Fighter Reddit. It was like, hey, did you know that Ken can bring you from one corner all the way to the other corner by launching you and then doing the fire hurricane kicks in such a way that he's like carrying you on his back into the other corner
on the cross up Tatsu side. Yeah.
Like from one end to the other.
Coast to coast.
That's zany as hell.
The amount of swag. Oh, so that's the thing is, I guess I'm gonna to talk from looking into Blanca and being like, all right, let's see Jimmy, let's see where this is gonna go. What's the vibe like? And I can't believe that the jungle, the fucking dank, dark, bug infested jungle, there's a bunch. The way I've described this, Blanca players are coming out of the cave and they're seeing the light, and some of them are going and running back in because they don't want to embrace the new version of what he needs to do. But some of them are picking up glasses and a lab coat and becoming James Blanca, and they're realizing that the way this character works now is the most technical it's ever been, and the idea of being a like just complete gremlin that skips neutral and does gimmicks, that does not fly. You have to do a million super labbed setups with everything he does in the most small intricacies to get him going. And like I saw some combos that people are doing with him where like the way you are using the level 2 Lightning Beast to like cross the screen up, throw a toy out while they're being juggled, and then find a place to hop and mix while the toy's coming at you while you zip past them is fucking IQ 4000 level shit. You know?
It's fascinating because you take a character that I'm going to steal a term from Gerald Lee from Corey Gaming, a character that was like defined by their ungamentals and is now like a fucking high-end set play character.
Insanity. You have to become Hank McCoy. You like it's the doctor is in and ready to fucking work. If you thought you could just rely on a Blanca ball forward and an occasional electricity, get the fuck out. It ain't working this time.
I will say something, Woolie, as somebody who's been playing just a disgusting amount of matches online against other Blancas, at a low or medium level, hard Blanca ball is just safe to everything.
Well,
like nobody can punish it.
But at low to mid level, a lot of characters, from what I can tell, do have answers that don't have to be like okay, I would say that an intermediate response would be like throw a super at it when it's coming at you. That requires a lot of skill, right? You can't ask that of a lot of people. But a drive impact for a lot of characters will catch and then tag depending on the timing. It's happened to me and I've seen it go down.
think you have to do that timing super early.
Well, you gotta be on top of it. But I've seen it happen, so it's like, no, there's things that do work, you know. But you're looking at a couple of things like that, I imagine, where like, yeah, he's got like the little jump hop command grab and stuff, and once you know that that's coming, I get like any character with a grab, then it's like, all right, time to blow him up, because when he whiffs, he's like, whoa, rah, rah, and he's just like he's stuck in that recovery. So the gimmicks are there, and you're gonna need to force these opportunities to make it all happen, right? I was noticing that I'm like, okay, I see the work that this character is going to require. I respect it. It's going to take some time. Yeah. However, when I grabbed Marissa and I just started pressing buttons and doing scootums and asking people where they were going, the results spoke for themselves. And I'm like, man, if I don't feel like working that hard, I'ma just pick the muscle mommy from the Mediterranean and let her carry me all the way through. Because like I did my Blanca like placement, and it was like, okay, you land in gold, and then I'm getting out. I'm at like my gold 4 or so with it. I'm like, yeah, what I don't know all the work yet, but I grab Marissa and I'm like, yeah, dump me in plat, we're good. No problem. For sure.
Now, hey, part of that really simple is two things that I think are really interesting. Number one is Blanca's been around for a bit. People understand what Blanca is. Marissa's brand new, so that helps, right? The second thing is that all the new cast, they all interact with the drive system in ways the old cast doesn't. Like Marissa's her big punch, I forget the name of all of her moves. Gladius, her big fist forward, right? If you charge that up, it blows up everybody's new desire to drive impact, because it just beat every drive impact in the game clean.
It sure does.
And then when you DI at her, she's gonna drop that scootum on you. Watch out.
Yeah.
You know? But and it's like, okay, so like where are the trade-offs? And it's like, well, there's some gaps in between her pressure. Yeah. And she doesn't convert off of lows, so you know you don't have to worry too much about getting checked low on her with her.
It's really wild because like Geef can convert off of lows. Like slow ass lumbering Geef can get at least a little bit going off of like a low kick.
Oh my god, he's got so much swag. Holy shit, the stuff I saw people doing.
So Geef has something going on. I've been playing a lot of Zangief. I named my dog Zangief. I like playing Zangief. He has a lot of shit going on, but probably the zaniest thing is the way they've handled the input buffer for his SPD creates a lot of really fun situations. So he's got his air SPD, right? I forget what it's called, but the air
Borscht Dynamite.
Borscht Dynamite. He's got Borscht Dynamite, which is SPD, is a 360 in the air and kick. But the way the input actually works is if you just do SPD with kick, he will do the fucking thing 1 inch off the ground.
Oh, yes.
And you can catch people you can catch Ken out of Dragon Lash. You can catch people before their character physically, like the animation of their character leaves the floor. So, or you can just hold the kick as late as all the way at the top of his jump arc.
Yeah, so
like,
that's
and it'll count.
Tiger kneeing it, right? So that was a thing that was very important, starting with Street Fighter 4, when Guy can do his air grab, and he could do it super low to the ground, which meant anything that was an aerial state, including a part of like focus crumple, he could just go like do the input and then end on up forward and then like grab you as super low to the ground as possible. Borscht Dynamite being able to do that is super clutch and crucial, because like, yeah, you just input it and hold up a little bit more, you get it right off the ground, which lets you do amazing things like fucking drop kick, wall bounce back
50%.
Into that shit for half your life.
50%.
You know,
off one good drop kick.
Insanity. and like you get the ability to like optimize a bunch of stuff too, where if they're low to the ground and like maybe you're not in range for like the super level 1 to work or so, you can just get that right off the ground, just SPD at the end of a certain juggle. Super swag with that.
4 normal throws depending on what kind of Oki or
6.
position you want. 6?
I believe it's 6.
It's got forward back and down forward and down back. What are the other 2?
I thought it was down and neutral as well, but maybe I'm mistaken.
Well, fuck me. If that's true.
I thought it was you plus those 2 as well. Yeah. Crazy.
What? They're sick?
You can put them wherever you want them to be. Wherever you want them to end up on the screen, he has a throw for it.
Didn't even know. Didn't he, like, played like 1,000 fucking matches with
The game is
Geef.
called Street Fighter 6, Pat. Come on.
Boo. Boo. But yeah, everyone is the most disgusting version of themselves ever.
Yes.
Like everyone feel like you called it way before, Woolie. You called it like a year ago. Where like everyone is going to get every tool that they ever had, and then some of them will get more. Some of them will get even more tools on top of that.
It's a page out of Strive, really, where the thing that this in Strive, there is a thing that each character gets that enables a steamroll, and you don't know. Like what everything else around them will determine ultimately how strong they are competitively, but there's a thing that you must fear for everybody, and if they get it going on you, you just die. You don't know what's going on and you're just dead, you know? There's a great little tweet.
Like jump in, slap, command grab, and then walk
Little bit of
forward, little kick, command grab, and just do that forever. You don't know what I'm gonna do. You see this? You don't know what I'm gonna do.
Do you know how bad it feels when you die in round 1 and she's at meta level like 4? You're like, I don't. Fuck this,
because I do that.
I very much know exactly how bad that is, and let me tell you. Do you know how bad that feels when you're a command grab character and they're beating you on your command grab setup?
Thanks for walking towards me. Let's dance. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it also doesn't help that it's like 1 frame, like the regular command grab, not the spinning one. It's like, but it's you have to be like touching.
Yeah, you have to be like right up against them. Yeah, and like everything is like all command grabs are like 5, and then the specials have that like it's 7, but the flash counts as 2. So the whole thing ends up being terrifying when you're like, I know that I have a grab. And I know you have a grab, and
let's grab.
We want to grab.
Let's all grab.
Let's just mush up against each other and
Got a lot of light pokes into grabs going on with this.
Yeah.
That's my whole game plan.
Yeah. And then JP is back here like, grab me if you want. I've got amnesia. Pop. Counters buttons. Counters grabs. Counters everything but projectiles. It's unbelievable how good that counter is.
Is the only character who feels like he is from a completely different game. JP does not feel like a Guilty Gear character. JP feels like a fucking Blaze Blue character.
Blaze Blue, yes. In the same way that Crimson Viper is a King of Fighters character dropped in to Street Fighter, this is a Blaze Blue old man coming into Street Fighter 6, like clearly, you know.
Like it feels like Geef versus JP feels like Tager versus New 13 in Calamity Trigger.
Yeah,
just like just stop hitting me, stop hitting me, let me move, please.
Glacius is also a really good comparison from Killer Instinct, you know, just like sitting across the screen going But the fact that his get out of dodge when he's in trouble thing is he doesn't just have a teleport. He has like a beat all things you do on offense. Like if I predict you're going to do anything to me right here, I'm just going to stop it. Incredible. And then people have done like some stuff with him where I mean, like, okay, so like the best player currently, probably in Canada right now that we have is Fluxwaves from Montreal, really strong guy, and he's number one ranked JP on 6 right now. And he's like just fucking annihilating people, and like what they have the ability to do is after that counter, right? The animation of whatever you were doing, if it was a grab or if it was a punch or an attack, it continues to play out while he is recovered, and then the 2 little floating tracking bombs are flying at you. So the next thing he does to hit you while you're in the middle of your animation will be a punish counter, right? And punish counters in this game are the way that you get all your big damage going, because it makes the character go bah! And then he gets to do the maximum fucking desk level crazy swag combos on you for your bad read. Then at the end of or in the middle of that combo, the 2 bombs hit you, and then he can do his level 3 teleport up to you. Like, fuck, man. Ugh. It's wild.
Pardon me.
Whenever JP shows up online, I just say fuck. Like I just get ready to be hit
JP,
from all directions.
There was a moment where I felt like I can understand what they're going for with JP as a very dedicated archetype. When his level 3 hits you from anywhere on the screen, and if it does hit you, it puts you both in opposite corners. And it's like, oh my fucking god, really? As if I wasn't at disadvantage enough.
Time to work.
That would be like Geef's level 3 grab landing
drops you in front
next
of him.
to the person.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel as if like there's a little bit of that in the sense that Marissa drops you in the corner, but like that's her oppressive deal. Her deal is I have 2 moves that will force you to the corner no matter what's going on, you know. But that is it's insane, and that's the steamroll I'm talking about. JP will do that and then continue to dominate because it leaves him in a perfect advantage. The zoner's zoner, for sure. Anyway, though, I mean, yeah, this will go on and we could fucking drone forever on every one of these characters. But I am curious if we're gonna kind of talk weeks a little bit. Susie, was there anything else that was of note that you'd like to?
Yeah, so I did the launch stream for this game.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really fun. Me and my good friend, Alex Lee, who I've watched him evolve into Luke for the past 4 years. Like just slowly, like him just being like,
"Where's the camera?
Like,
there? Which one?"
He's
there?
like, "You love Capcom, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I love Capcom." And he's just like, Street Fighter. I'm in Street Fighter. And I'm just like, "You're in Street? Who? What? Huh? What?" And then that just becoming like him going from 5 into 6 and
Mr. Street Fighter.
Me being very proud of him that he learned how to play Street Fighter, and
Luke from the streets. Yep.
Unfortunately defeating me on the final episode of Metro City Academy by one point. I was holding my own for as long as I could, but I don't know if you guys have ever been on a couch with Tasty Steve and Vicious screaming in both of your ears while Luke is doing target combos and cornering you while you're just trying to do a cannon spike.
Oh, God.
It was
the
rough,
live
but
commentary.
very fun. We had Tasty Steve in the game commentating and on the couch commentating, and
That's
him
weird.
complimenting himself for the things he was saying in the game. So
I mean, isn't it fun to have that pressure of playing on stream and performing, while your brain is like at least 30% of it, maybe more, is occupied with like just, oh God, I'm on stream, don't fuck up. Shit, what am I trying to do? You know what I mean?
On stream, I could see the chat. There's bright lights in my face, and I'm playing on classic controls. I'm not playing modern. I have to remember my buttons. I gotta remember my spacing. And I did not. It was really stressful.
I really gotta
It's a
say,
struggle.
I feel like Alex Lee is like turning Luke around for me as the podcast's #1 Luke hater.
Yeah.
Like,
As yeah.
like
yeah,
I feel like his Twitter putting out, "Yo, it's Luke from Streets," with
Yeah.
like that bad mocap, like weird PS1 character, did way more to sell me on that character than his entire existence in 5. Any of the
Yeah.
promotional material himself in game, like it makes perfect. Like he's a doofus.
I've been
Luke's
saying.
kind of. Oh, I get it now.
That's it. Everyone's turning around on Luke. It's great.
He's great. Yeah. He's awesome.
I'm love to see it, you know? And like I said, like I was never down on him. I thought I liked him from day one, but like we were saying this to Gianni last time, like the amount of heavy lifting being done by the dankest memes on Twitter when the voice actor decides to just become the character and fully
Yeah.
embrace it in everyone's mind. Like it does so much heavy lifting as well, man. It's the best. Hell
Like
yeah.
we were driving to Twitch HQ and he was just 100 miles per hour down the San Francisco freeway, just going with the Luke voice being like, everyone's scared to go a little fast, and like just white knuckling the steering wheel, and items are flying around the car. Like he is Luke. He's become
God.
Luke. Like,
He's gotten too deep into the role.
Just I want him to
Perhaps.
just I want to believe in the idea that he's doing his everyday activities from time to time, and as soon as he nails it, like he'll flip a burger and it'll be like perfect.
yeah.
You know, it's great.
That was my week. It was very stressful but very fun. I'm very happy, very proud of all the people that worked on that game that I know who launched a very, very successful fighting game. Like one of the best fighting games, as we've said already. Like,
Well, you know, congrats on all your launch content and the amount that you've been
Thank you.
doing over there with the Capcoms. That's a pretty cool place to hang out. And those are some
Yeah.
cool peeps
I
that really
I
fucking
can't
love
believe
Street
it.
Fighter.
Yeah, they're awesome. And yeah, I can't believe that I've made it this far. Oh my god, how did
Fuck
this
yeah.
happen? But okay, let's go on.
Oh yeah. Fuck, I forgot the we were shouting like when he lands his level 3 on you as he's like punching. He's like, "You're taking the long train to Memphis."
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like. And anyway, so this week, I guess for me has been it was pretty straightforward because Tuesday we were supposed to stream, but then we didn't because Reggie was feeling a little sick, so had to cancel there. And then the next day we booted up our stream and then sat down to do some FF9, and then the fucking power went out, and what up, that was it. You know,
The whole province burned down overnight.
Now, I was initially worried because I turned on an air conditioner, which you might be hearing in the background, but
I don't hear it.
Oh, great. Then
I can't hear
stuff's
it.
working. Cool. Yeah, I had an air conditioner going that I was like, ooh, I don't know how the new circuits in this house are going to draw power. Hopefully everything will be okay. So then when we started up and then within 10 minutes it fucking killed, I was like, God damn it. Oh no, I have a studio power problem. And then thankfully it turned out, no, actually, there's a giant forest fire that triggered the emergency city breakers to go off because I guess...
That actually happened. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I haven't been keeping up with the news. I thought Pat was joking.
No, there was a fire.
The province burned down.
There was a forest fire, and then they basically, there's an emergency switch that goes off because I guess the fires can be exasperated or made worse if there's like live power in certain areas or if something comes down, you know. So that just like hit the grid and down we went, you know. So and it was really funny too because I I didn't even get to say it, but I was I was about to say because it's like the Thursday, right, or so, and you know, as we all know, the world has time zones in it, and time zones do interesting things depending on what platform you might be on. So I was just hearing people talking online, and I was gonna take a look at a little something, and I went, "Oh, interesting. The podcast is sponsored by ExpressVPN, is it not? Let's see if we can. Let's see what ExpressVPN has to. Oh, look at that, huh? You know, so I was just gonna give a hearty shout out on that stream to ExpressVPN for anybody that was, suddenly found themselves in New Zealand or perhaps
New Zealand's nice this time of year, every day.
Every day is a good time to go to New Zealand. You know, go hang out, learn a haka. It's great. But,
I'm still impressed that Pat managed to fly all the way out there for our.
Yeah, it was. You know? Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah,
set up the same room.
Yeah, it was hard. It was hard to get all that done in time.
But yeah, no. So we lost power, and that was that. You know. And it's like, oh yeah, great time for that, of course. Like right when stuff's about to go down, but eventually, you know, things were okay, and so we jumped back on, and yeah, pretty much, we played and had a good time. We talked about 6 already. The only other thing of note, well, I guess shout out to the other thing with Street Fighter is, got a little sponsorship going. Junk Food Custom Arcades is they put together 2 WoolieVersus Snackbox Micro arcade controllers, the leverless stick. One is Get Into Fighting Games, and the other one is just a WoolieVersus, like, limited edition brand. And if you were thinking about getting a stick or something without a stick, actually, for that matter, and one of these new Snackbox Micros is a fucking super sick way to do it. For anyone who is like a podcast only listener that hasn't seen it or so yet, we've talked, I guess, a couple times about how joysticks, like, nowadays there's like the ways you can play with a no stick on the actual arcade controller, right? Leverless is the way we're going with it, and they got these Snackbox Micros that are like, they fit in your pocket, they're lighter than a pad, or you can put an extra weight if you want the heaviness of it, you know, and stuff. They're really fucking cool. I'm still struggling like fuck to learn how to play on them. I'm not even gonna pretend.
It's a fucking whole new thing.
Your brain has to get used to it. But if you're definitely learning and or down to, like, you know, put the time in initially, everyone is having glowing results with it. Like, I'm seeing a lot of people that, like, coming into fighting games for the first time that are able to do it, like, easily because it's just like keyboard mentality. And people that, you know, are longtime players as well, switching over to that because it keeps the stress off your wrist and stuff. You know, like my friend Pedro, who, you know, played really, really crazy anime games for years, eventually started getting wrist pain as a result. So he switched over, and that's been a really nice way for him to get the stress off, because you don't have to swing your wrist around like a joystick. You just tap the buttons with your fingers, you know. So, you can go check that out. I plugged it on the channel and stuff, but it's a tinyurl.com/wooliesnack if you want to get one.
I'm looking at them right now. They look great.
Thank you.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Hey, Woolie, I got a quick question, and I have a question for Susie as well.
Yes.
For Street Fighter 6, you guys playing on pad?
I made the switch to pad.
Yeah, I know. So you're sticking with pad, right? And Susie, you're playing on pad?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's weird because Blanca makes me desperately want to, like, all my brain Blanca memory is arcade sticking it.
Right.
But Drive Impact makes me want to have the button ready to go like that. And so I switched over.
So here's the thing that's weird. I was playing stick during all the betas. And then for the release, I was like, fuck it, I'll try out pad. And I don't keep Drive Impact on L1. I just use the R1, R2 for that. What I've been using it is for every character has one awkward input that I don't want to have to deal with on like a pad. So Geef's EX Lariat is all 3 punches, which is a little awkward on a pad, so I do that. Or Ken's Run. Yeah. Ken's Run I find incredibly awkward on a pad. Until I put it on custom button number 2 and then put it on that. And yeah, I've played all my matches on pad. I'm back off stick after playing stick for 15 years. I'm
wild.
Back to pad.
Yeah, same here. I used pad for Strive, and like again, it would just go game to game for me for a while. So like Strive, Tekken, was always a pad thing for me because the fingers and stuff. But like in this case, yeah, I switched for the DI, and then I stayed for the consistency of everything else that I'm able to do. I had more drops with like supers, on stick that I don't get on pad just because I'm able to twitch it out faster. Somebody asked thumbstick or D-pad.
D-pad.
That it is always D-pad, 100% of the time. The thumbstick is just by de facto a worst way to play. You can do it to like get a quick 720 out if you'd like to, but never ever ever play a fighting game with that thumb pad. I don't recommend it.
That's how I've been playing.
Really?
Okay. I don't recommend
with the
it.
left thumbstick.
It's just really hard to dash and do like good like specific inputs.
You guys didn't play as much DMC Devil May Cry as me, where I have to literally do a dash input to do a stinger. Sorry, guys.
Hey, like if you're in it, you're in it. But most people will definitely recommend that you go D-pad because the travel time for going from down to forward or from back all the way across and stuff is like it's naturally slower versus like
D-pad is way faster.
The instantaneous thing, and then the fast test is the actual leverless controller, right? Holding back and then tapping forward.
There's something really important here. I'm watching the chat as we're talking about this, and there is a gentleman in there named Dova523 who points out correctly that they have whooped both my ass and your ass, Woolie, and they say they were using the analog stick on their pad.
Sure.
Beat me with Geef in a mirror. Just kicked my fucking asshole in.
Sure.
So, yeah, use what you're comfy with.
Anyone can do anything with the right attitude and enough fucking gumption about it. Absolutely. The recommendation...
I'll use this freaking... hold on. I'll show you. I think you guys will get a kick out of it.
What do you got?
I could only use this one for Alpha, though. Alpha 1, 2, and 3. So,
God.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I got the memories of that. Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. I feel
PS1.
that. No, so the thing is for people that are just like not certain, they're not comfortable with anything just yet, and they're trying to figure out which way to go with it. People that often go, I'm having a hard time trying to do a fireball. I can't even get a Hadouken out or a Shoryuken. I find out it's because they're trying to do it on a thumbstick, and that input of like the travel it's asking so much more of your thumb than it would if you just had it right there and just twitched it out. Every input for a quarter circle or a Shoryuken is supposed to be just a little twitch of your thumb, but the travel on the thing is where people tend to have a hard time getting those moves out.
Yeah,
and,
but this is totally. At the end of the day, this is the same argument that like we would have where you'd run into people who'd have their stick. You're like, oh, can I borrow your stick? And you touch it, and it's like a bat top with a circle gate.
Of course.
And you're like, what is this disgusting piece of shit? Where is my Sanwa fucking square gate? And then the octagon weirdos show up.
I used to run octagons.
Oh, you freak!
And then I made the mistake of it broke one day, and then I couldn't use a normal stick, and that was the end of that. I was
always under the impression that everybody who used an octo gate is doing so that no one wants to borrow their stick.
It's honestly, it's a little training wheel because it lets you feel the input between the corners easier, right? So if you're playing a charge character and you want to go from back to neutral, down to back and forward properly, like feeling it in between sometimes, a lot of people that are not used to that feeling will accidentally go too far from down back to down forward when they want to go from down back to just back, right? Or down back to just down. So the octo gate forces you to feel the click, and if you feel 2 clicks, you went too far. But the trade-off for that, of course, is most sticks don't have it, and you get used to that feeling, you learn ROG as a joke, and then you can't switch to something else, Yeah, in the end, I ultimately would say that just if you are determined and you are having no problems with inputs, then yeah, sure, you could thumbstick it. But if you're trying to figure stuff out, I recommend not.
Yeah.
But I'm padding.
I have found that charge inputs are way more difficult on the thumbstick, just because
Mm.
there's no like
Yeah,
tension.
there's travel
Like if you
time.
want to crouch, yeah, there's
Mhm.
like way
Yeah.
too much. Like,
The one situation where so you'd see like competitive players that were on pad, what they would do is they would switch to the stick to just do their 720s, right?
Yeah.
Because that's smoother than it is on a pad. You just you know, and good old player Vangeef would walk in 720 you by switching over to that. Amazing little accessibility option, by the way. In the walking around the battle hub felt awful on a stick, and
Sure does. Oh my
and
god.
I was like, you guys need to fix this. And then they did two things. One, they put in the ability to hold down, I think, RT and rotate the camera. So that's like
That
a nice.
still sucks though.
Yeah. Or grab player 2, which is our controller, and run around on that, and then pick the stick up for the fights.
can you
It's-
actually do that? That's
Yes.
Yeah.
It's such a great idea where they're like, okay, we designed this for sticks, for controllers, for pads. We didn't have the stick in mind, but it's Street Fighter, guys. What are you doing? And it's like, so like, okay, yeah, you can just grab a pad and it'll be fine. Because it's, running around in a third-person video game with your finger on the thumbstick, pressing your trigger buttons, which is what everyone else does when they're playing video games in every other genre, naturally works for this environment. An arcade stick does not, Great
definitely
idea
not.
to do that. But
You know what an arcade stick works really well with, surprisingly, and maybe Pat won't be surprised by this, but Woolie might be. Classic Resident Evil games.
Yeah.
Huh.
There's
Tank
no
controls.
reason.
tank controls. Yeah.
You don't
It
need a
works
second
perfectly.
analog stick.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It means you can do that weird feather stepping, makes no sound effect noise shit way easier.
That
Korean
that makes
backdash.
sense to me. Exactly. Um, so, as someone who's like looking around on the pad, though, I did run into this issue that you were just talking about, where I was like, okay, some inputs in the game require 2 buttons, right? Which is great. So, coward crouch, for example, with Blanca, is down and 2 punches.
Right.
But
See, down and 2 punches on a pad's easy because you hit triangle
Pincer.
and R1.
pincer, no problem.
Yeah.
Right? Absolutely. EXs, ODs, they're fine. But surprise hop forward, surprise hop back are 3, And that's where you go, oh, fuck, I have to do the finger sideways thing for the X and circle button, and then I have to get R2 going, and that timing is awkward.
Yeah.
And so what do I do? So you can trade off a button for like 3 punches or 3 kicks, like an arcade stick used to have,
Yeah.
But all the way at the bottom of the list on the inputs, there's something called multiple button assistance.
Yeah.
And it's actually a toggle where if you hold that button, anything you press becomes a 3 punch or 3 kicks. And that is a brilliant move because it doesn't make you have to sacrifice 2 shoulder buttons to get 3 punches on one, 3 kicks on the other. You can just have it on that one to modify anything you're pressing. And even better than that, they're so fucking smart. When you hold the 3 punch or 3 kick modifier, if you tap jab, a jab comes out. But if you do an input with a special move, it'll be an OD. If you tap heavy, a heavy comes out, but then it'll become triple for, whatever action you're doing. So in game, the button press still registers as the one you wanted it to be, but it only changes to all 3 if you're doing something that requires all 3.
Yeah,
so good.
Interesting.
Street Fighter 6 is top to bottom filled with things where I look at that and I've messed around with it. I'm like, my brain will never map a modifier button onto a controller. Like the way that works makes my brain shut down. I don't know. No, button has to be button, whatever it happens to be, right? But for somebody whose brain can map that, wow, that is an incredible goddamn feature.
Yep. Hold for OD.
Game is full of shit
Yeah.
like that. I was playing Honda, and I crouched with Honda, and after like 4 or 5 seconds of crouching with Honda, his idle stance changes, so he gets more comfortable. So because if you're playing as Honda, yeah, you're gonna crouch for like weirdly gigantic long periods of time. And it's just filled with all these little details of a game that was clearly in development for a really long time, where somebody went, wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't that be really cool to do that? Yeah, let's do. We got time.
Love. It's got love.
Yeah, it's
that's
kind
what I
of
like to
insane
call
how
it.
we got RE4 remake and this game like back to back. It's just like two giant love letter games to their franchises. It's like do it every time, Capcom. Please do it every time.
And now I have the confidence that it's like the people that are currently there on the team, like they know and they get it and they're fucking able to do it and it's like, okay, you have like I can believe in whatever you guys are touching, whatever you're working on, whatever you're up to. I'm just like, yep, it's in good hands. I trust the hands that are currently
Yeah.
there. You know, that's a nice feeling.
You mean the hands that are so in love with Capcom when they're making a Capcom game that one of the first things that I saw starting World Tour mode was a poster featuring the God Hand Poison Chihuahua on the side of a building?
God, Jesus Christ, let's go. Oh fuck, God hand
Pretty sick.
references. Yeah.
Oh,
What?
I found Ashley Graham in the
Yeah.
game as well.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a bunch of Capcom characters just wandering around.
Huh?
she was doing yoga in a park, and it was a blonde lady with an orange shirt and green
Yeah.
pants named Ashley.
Oh shit. Okay. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
I saw the Carlos Miyamoto in the trailer there, but like we got all kinds of stuff. I saw someone running around and then they looked up and a sumo wrestler was flying through the sky. Like a Katamari Damashi style moment of just a sumo doing a headbutt across continental, you know?
Yeah, that just happens in Street Fighter, man. Come on, you know that.